Have you ever wondered where Calypso music really comes from? It's a story much deeper and older than you might think. Long before the dazzling stages of Carnival, before microphones, and way before any international competitions, the story begins on the old sugar estates of Trinidad. Back in the late 1700s and early 1800s, colonial powers brought enslaved Africans to the island. They carried immense pain, but they also brought their rich cultures, their languages, their rhythms, and their traditions. One of the most important figures they brought with them was the chantwell, the lead singer who guided their communal ceremonies back in Africa. On the plantations, these enslaved people were forbidden from speaking their native languages or gathering freely. Their voices were suppressed, but they could not be silenced. So they turned to song. In the evenings, after long, grueling days cutting sugarcane, they would gather in the barrack yards. This was their sanctuary. In the center of it all, the chantwell would step forward. With makeshift instruments like biscuit tins or bamboo sticks, they would beat out ancient rhythms. Then the chantwell would begin to sing. These weren't just simple melodies. They were powerful messages. They sang the news of the day. They cleverly teased the cruel overseers. They celebrated small victories. And most importantly, they offered comfort and strength to their community. This new, vibrant form of expression was a powerful mix of social commentary, storytelling, and sharp-witted satire. It became known as Calypso, what we now recognize as the earliest form of Calypso. It was a lifeline, a way to preserve their identity and speak truth to power when words were forbidden. As time went on, the island's culture became a melting pot. French planters, who had their own traditions of masquerade for Carnival, began to mix with the African population. This cultural fusion was electric. The African tradition of call and response singing merged beautifully with the European Carnival masquerades. Out of this incredible blend, the chantwell evolved. He transformed into the Calypsonian, a master of words, a sharp-tongued social commentator, and a true artist of the people. The Calypsonian became the voice of the voiceless, using wit and melody as their weapons. When emancipation finally came in 1834, everything changed. Calypso, once confined to the barrack yards, burst onto the streets. It became the official soundtrack of Trinidad's Carnival, a vibrant celebration of freedom and culture. The energy was unstoppable. By the early 1900s, this movement gave birth to the Calypso tent culture. These tents were the first real performance venues for the Calypsonians. Here, singers would compete, performing songs that were humorous, deeply political, romantic, and often beautifully rebellious. The Calypso tent was the heart of the community. Calypso became more than just music. It was the people's newspaper, delivering news the powerful didn't want you to hear. It was the gossip radio, sharing stories from every corner of the island. It was the parliament of the yard, where ordinary people could debate and discuss the issues of the day through song. It was true democracy in rhythm. From this incredible tradition, legends were born. Icons like the mighty Sparrow, Lord Kitchener, and the undisputed Queen, Calypso Rose, took the art form to the world stage. They carried the legacy of the chantwell, turning their personal stories and social observations into timeless anthems. Today, Calypso is the very heartbeat of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a national treasure that tells the story of its people, a story of resilience, rebellion, and pride. It's witty, melodic, and forever defiant. The next time you hear that infectious rhythm, remember its journey from the quiet whispers in the cane fields to the roaring voice of a nation. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to learn more about the incredible histories behind the music we love. See you next time.